Have you ever cracked open a fresh egg for your morning scramble, savoring that nutrient boost to power through your active senior days, only to unknowingly invite a hidden health hazard right onto your plate? What if I told you that common slip-ups with eggs, like improper storage or undercooking, have sparked over 200 salmonella cases across the U.S. in 2025 alone, with seniors over 65 facing severe outcomes at rates up to 5 times higher than the general population, turning a simple breakfast into a potential hospital stay? Shocking, right? Backed by the latest CDC outbreak data, these mistakes hit our aging immune systems hardest, quietly ramping up risks for dehydration, heart strain, and worse after 60. Yet most of us are doing them without a clue. But don't worry, I'm here to arm you with the fixes, and you absolutely need to watch till the end because I'll unveil the jaw-dropping #1 mistake that's oxidizing your cholesterol and spiking heart disease odds by 25% for 80% of seniors, plus the one effortless swap that could safeguard your vitality for years to come. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video, you can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment #1. If you don't like it, comment #0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Number 5. Storing eggs in the fridge door. Oh, that alluring little shelf tucked right into the door of your fridge. It's practically begging for attention, isn't it? Like a flashy VIP section at a bustling grocery gala, promising prime real estate for your condiments, juices, and yes, even those precious cartons of eggs. But hold on to your spatula, because this seemingly convenient spot is nothing short of a covert operative in the kitchen, quietly undermining your egg stash and transforming it into an unwitting hotspot for bacterial interlopers, chief among them the notorious salmonella, which sneaks in with all the subtlety of an uninvited guest at a quiet dinner party. You see, every single time you yank open that fridge door to grab the milk for your morning cereal, pluck out the cheddar for a quick sandwich, or just peek in for a midnight snack, you're unwittingly launching your eggs into a turbulent thermal adventure. Those delicate shells endure dramatic swings in temperature, plummeting from a frosty 35 degrees Fahrenheit in the fridge's core chill to a toasty 50 degrees or higher every time the door gets cracked open to the warmer kitchen air. This relentless cycle of hot and cold extremes isn't merely an inconvenience for your breakfast staples. It's a veritable accelerator pedal for microbial mayhem, propelling bacterial populations to explode at rates that outpace even the most prolific social media trends. Just think about it. One moment of warmth, and those contaminants are off to the races, replicating with ruthless efficiency before you can even crack open a single sunny side-up wonder. And let's not gloss over the science here. A thorough USDA report on everyday food safety protocols lays it out in stark, eye-opening detail, showing that this oh-so-common storage slip-up can amplify contamination risks by an astonishing 200% in as little as 48 hours. That's not hyperbole. It's a wake-up call wrapped in a carton. Now, if you're among the vibrant crowd over 60, like so many of us enjoying the golden chapters of life, the consequences hit a tad closer to home, and harder. Our digestive tracts, bless their seasoned selves, naturally dial back their efficiency by roughly 20% as the years add up, meaning our bodies aren't quite the fortresses they once were against these sneaky invaders. What starts as a minor bacterial skirmish can snowball into a cascade of woes, from those all-too-familiar bouts of queasy tummy rumbles and unpredictable bathroom dashes to insidious dehydration that creeps up like fog on a quiet morning, quietly draining your hydration levels and zapping the pep from your step. Picture this. Instead of greeting the dawn with that familiar spring in your stride, ready to tackle a brisk walk around the block or a lively chat over coffee with old friends, you're sidelined on the couch, feeling like you've got a flat tire on your favorite bicycle. Sluggish, foggy, and far from the spry adventurer you know you are. Retirement's too short for such detours, wouldn't you agree? The silver lining, though, is brighter than a perfectly poached egg. Remedying this faux pas is easier than piecing together yesterday's crossword puzzle. All it takes is a gentle relocation mission. Scoop up that carton and nestle it into the quieter, more steadfast embrace of the main fridge compartment, toward the back, where the air stays consistently cool and unwavering at about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Here, shielded from the door's erratic drafts, frequent openings, and even the subtle vibrations from the fridge's hum, your eggs are essentially tucked into a serene, climate-stabilized sanctuary, much like a cozy underground bunker designed for optimal preservation. The payoff? Those shells remain robust and unbreached, your daily meals unfold without a whiff of worry, and by morning, your gut's internal orchestra strikes up a symphony of smooth digestion and steady vitality. You'll be gliding through your routine, whether it's tending to the herb garden, shuffling cards for a friendly game, or simply savoring that first sip of tea, with the lightness of someone who's cracked the code on effortless wellness. Who knew a simple shift could unlock such excellent harmony? Number 4. Cracking open damaged or dirty eggs. Envision yourself weaving through the bustling aisles of your local market on a crisp Saturday morning, basket in hand, when your gaze lands on that familiar stack of egg cartons. Vibrant, promising, and deceptively innocent. In the midst of the weekend hustle, scanning labels for the best deal or the freshest dozen, it's all too easy to breeze past that faint hairline fracture spiderwebbing across one shell or the stubborn streak of earthy, henhouse grime clinging to another like a forgotten souvenir from the farm. A quick shrug, a mental note to deal with it later, and into the cart they go, but oh, what a perilous oversight that turns out to be. Dismissing these subtle imperfections isn't just a minor lapse in judgment. It's akin to unfurling a crimson carpet straight to your skillet, complete with engraved invitations and spare keys for every bacterium in the vicinity to saunter in unchallenged and set up shop. Those cracks and smudges? Far from mere superficial quirks, they're wide-open gateways for opportunistic pathogens. Think E. coli or that ever-present salmonella, to slip past the eggshell's natural defenses and burrow directly into the nutrient-rich haven of the yolk and white, where they can feast, flourish, and multiply in a hidden frenzy, all while your omelet dreams simmer on the back burner. The stakes here are illuminated by some truly pivotal insights from the FDA's dedicated Egg Safety Brigade, whose exhaustive investigations reveal a chilling truth. Eggs bearing even the slightest cracks can shelter up to 10 times the load of dangerous bacteria when stacked against their flawless siblings, effectively morphing your go-to-breakfast ritual into a high-wire act of unintended roulette. And if that's not enough to pause your fork mid-air, consider the ripple effects spelled out in a landmark analysis from the British Journal of Nutrition, which draws a direct, unflinching line between this dicey practice and a 15% surge in infection incidents among our fellow adventurers over 65. Why the heightened vulnerability? Well, as the calendar pages turn, our intestinal walls tend to thin ever so slightly, like well-worn pages in a cherished novel, while our circulatory networks, those tireless highways of the body, become a touch more sensitive to disruptions, transforming what might be a fleeting annoyance for younger folks into a full-throttle tussle that echoes through your entire system. We're not talking isolated gripes like a fleeting wave of nausea. This can escalate to full-day fogs of fatigue, erratic energy dips that mimic a sputtering engine, or worse, spells that bench you from the joys that make life sing. Be it strategizing over a heated bridge tournament, kneeling in the soil to coax those tomatoes to ripeness, or even mustering the gusto for a spontaneous outing with grandkids. Days blur into what-ifs. And that's a thief we can't afford in our later acts. Yet, here's the empowering twist. You hold all the power to rewrite this script, emerging as the vigilant steward of your own egg empire with a handful of proactive, no-fuss strategies that feel more like wisdom than work. Kick things off at the point of purchase. Pause amid the market melee for a deliberate, detective-like inspection of each egg in the carton, tilting them gently under the fluorescent lights to unmask any fissures or flecks of filth. Spot a suspect? No hesitation. Wave it goodbye on the shelf. The universe is brimming with superior options, and playing it safe now spares a world of should-haves later. For those occasional stragglers that sneak through with a bit of barnyard residue, summon your inner spa attendant. A soft, thorough rinse under a stream of warm, soapy water, steer clear of chilly temps, which cunningly coax bacteria deeper into the shell's pores like a reverse vacuum, followed by a tender pat with a clean towel to whisk away moisture, then a prompt fridge filing to lock in the freshness. To elevate your egg game from solid to stellar, lean into the luxury of selecting top-tier varieties. Those pristine, pasture-raised gems from hens with room to roam aren't just impeccably clean. They deliver a nutritional knockout punch, including elevated levels of omega-3 fatty acids that champion cardiovascular resilience, bolster brain fog-banishing clarity, and even lend a subtle, superior flavor to your scrambles and frittatas. Suddenly, it's not merely about preparing eggs. It's about orchestrating them with the finesse of a master culinarian, each bite a testament to your savvy. Your mornings? Transformed into bastions of bolstered health, where vitality flows as freely as the first pour of coffee, arming you to embrace the day's delights with unyielding zest. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3. Gobbling undercooked or raw eggs. Brace yourself for the revelation that could fundamentally reshape your long-standing affection for that delicate, soft-boiled egg ceremony each dawn with number 3. the all-too-tempting practice of devouring raw eggs in their pristine, unadorned state, whether cracked straight into a frothy smoothie for an effortless protein boost, artfully draped over a crisp greens ensemble to lend that shimmering, uncooked yolk allure, or savored in those minimally heated, undercooked incarnations where the interior remains a silken, liquid sanctuary barely kissed by warmth. Far from a benign nod to tradition or convenience, this choice catapults you headlong into the treacherous spin of salmonella roulette, a gamble where the bacterial house edge sharpens exponentially with every unchecked indulgence, and the fallout ranges from fleeting gastrointestinal unrest to harrowing hospital sojourns that disrupt the rhythm of your well-earned retirement. To underscore the peril with unyielding precision, consult the unequivocal directives from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, which repeatedly amplify this hazard in their public health dispatches, asserting that those of us over 65 confront a staggering tenfold heightened probability of hospitalization from salmonella incursions relative to the vigor of younger generations. A disparity that translates to more than 1,000 verified incidents each year in our cohort, with the shadow of underdiagnosis looming large over countless additional brushes dismissed as transient tummy troubles or age-related quirks. This disproportionate susceptibility isn't capricious. It's etched into the biology of aging, where our metabolic engines idle at a more contemplative cadence, diminishing the velocity at which the body's detoxification pathways operate, thereby permitting those insidious bacterial endotoxins to tarry indefinitely, burrowing into tissues and orchestrating a symphony of inflammatory responses that balloon joints into throbbing impediments to effortless movement, erode the clarity of thought with a tenacious, disorienting haze that scatters focus and amplifies everyday frustrations, and potentially cascade into systemic imbalances, all precipitating within the compressed time frame of 24 to 48 hours post-consumption. Such a scenario doesn't merely prick at comfort, it imperils the foundational autonomy that underpins our later chapters, converting what was meant to be a nourishing prelude to the day into an inadvertent accelerant for debility and dependency. Nevertheless, the antidote to this alarm is refreshingly accessible, rooted in proactive culinary wisdom that honors the egg's essence while erecting impenetrable defenses, transforming vulnerability into victory through deliberate, delectable preparation. The cornerstone edict from microbiologists and nutritionists alike: elevate the egg's core to a steadfast 160 degrees Fahrenheit, a scientifically validated bastion that eradicates salmonella colonies comprehensively, all while retaining the protein's bioavailability and subtle nuances of taste. Embrace the venerable hard-boiled tradition with renewed reverence. Retrieve eggs from the chill of the refrigerator, lower them tenderly into a cauldron of roiling water augmented by a pinch of salt or vinegar to cradle the shells, and sustain the boil for an unwavering 10 minutes, yielding whites of unyielding firmness and yolks of dense, powdery solidity that brim with bioavailable vitamins and minerals, ready to be peeled and portioned with glee. Should scrambled eggs beckon as your expressive outlet, begin with a rigorous whisk incorporating a scant measure of almond milk or plant-based alternative for loftier lift. Cascade the mixture into a butter-kissed or oil-misted non-stick vessel warmed to a moderate embrace, and navigate the transformation with patient, rhythmic stirs using a flexible spatula that coaxes curds into being. Persist until the last vestiges of translucency evaporate, crafting a landscape of ethereal, moist mounds that evoke clouds kissed by dawn. For the Epicurean inclined toward levity and nuance, poaching emerges as a poetic panacea. Assemble a broad, shallow vessel brimming with a bespoke vegetable broth, simmered from carrots, leeks, and bay leaves for a symphony of subtle earthiness, kept low in sodium to honor hypertensive harmonies. Gently introduce cracked eggs into individual ramekins or directly into the bath. Tent with a lid to trap steam's gentle persuasion, and allow 3 to 4 minutes for the whites to weave a translucent veil around the quivering yolk, emerging as ethereal orbs infused with herbaceous whispers that transcend the mundane without the caloric toll of submersion in fats. This arsenal of approaches doesn't dilute the egg's irreplaceable allure. It endows your innate defenses with an elite, multifaceted shield augmentation, a vigilant vanguard that permeates from gut to gray matter, empowering you to embrace each ovular offering with exuberant assurance, unencumbered by lurking apprehensions, and wholly attuned to the unfolding tapestry of your vibrant tomorrow. Number 2. Scorched overcooking your scramble. Creeping in at a sizzling number 2, disguised as an overzealous quest for that perfect golden edge, is the insidious habit of overcooking your scrambled eggs until they transform from fluffy delight into a parched, crispy wasteland that's more crumb than cloud. A mistake that sounds trivial but packs a punch to your long-term health blueprint. What begins as a momentary lapse in heat control spirals into a biochemical betrayal. The intense temperatures oxidize the beneficial fats within the eggs, particularly the cholesterol that, when handled right, supports cellular integrity and hormonal balance, but here morphs into a vascular villain, forging advanced glycation end products and other irritants that detonate like tiny bombs along your arterial walls, hastening the accumulation of plaque in ways that no amount of denial can dismiss. To illuminate the gravity, turn to rigorous research. A pivotal study out of Harvard University, meticulously detailed in the pages of the journal Circulation, unpacked how this overcooking proclivity can escalate plaque buildup by a formidable 25% in those over 60, a cohort already navigating the natural stiffening of arteries by approximately 30%, courtesy of cumulative oxidative stress and reduced collagen flexibility over the years. This isn't some distant theoretical threat. It's a stealthy setup for cerebrovascular drama, where the unleashed free radicals, those unstable molecules born from excessive heat, ravage endothelial linings, constrict blood flow, and prime the pump for silent ischemic events like mini-strokes that erode quality of life stealthily, manifesting as fleeting dizziness, memory lapses, or worse, without the fanfare of a full-blown crisis. Envision your sunrise staple, intended as sustenance, instead of fueling a frictional force that grinds against the resilience you've built, quietly undermining the agility and acuity that define your golden years. But despair not, this is no irreversible verdict. It's a clarion call for a kitchen-based redemption arc, where small, intentional shifts yield outsized dividends in both vitality and taste. Champion the low and slow philosophy as your steadfast ally. Preheat a quality non-stick skillet to a subdued medium-low flame, pour in your seasoned whisked eggs, perhaps enriched with a dash of cream for extra silkiness, and employ a wooden spoon or silicone spatula to fold and stir in unhurried circles for precisely 3 to 4 minutes, pausing the moment they achieve that velvety, just-set sheen. Creamy pockets with a whisper of moisture, halting the march toward dryness before it begins. For variety's sake or when time pinches, revert to the soft-boiled sanctuary. Nestle your eggs in a steamer basket over simmering water for an exact 6 minutes, yielding a yolk that's molten yet safe, a textural treasure that pairs divinely with whole-grain toast or fresh avocado. To infuse this routine with layers of gastronomic joy without inviting health hitches, incorporate a confetti of fresh herbs, snip chives for a mild onion kiss, feathery dill for citrusy brightness, or robust parsley for earthy grounding. Stirred in during the final 30 seconds of cooking, these verdant allies not only burst with antioxidants but safeguard the integrity of lutein, the vision-vitalizing pigment in eggs that combats oxidative damage to the retina, ensuring your gaze remains as keen as your wit. Through these refinements, you've orchestrated more than a mere evasion of peril. You've orchestrated an amplification of sensory pleasure and nutritional prowess, crafting a breakfast symphony that harmonizes flavor, function, and foresight for the discerning senior palate. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 1. Frying eggs daily in butter or bad oils. Cue the dramatic crescendo and the revelation that's been bubbling beneath the surface of your subconscious since the list began. For number 1, the crown jewel of culinary cautions, arrives as that seemingly innocuous yet profoundly perilous daily rite. Firing up the skillet with lavish pats of butter or those ever-present bottles of vegetable oil, often soybean or corn derivatives laden with unstable polyunsaturated fats, and crowning the ensemble with a parade of bacon strips that sizzle into greasy confetti, transforming eggs from humble heroes into accomplices in a cardiac conspiracy. This isn't about tallying calories in isolation. It's a multifaceted ambush on cardiovascular fortitude, exploiting the subtle frailties that accompany the tapestry of later life, where resilience meets reality in ways that demand our vigilant stewardship. Anchor this urgency in authoritative insight. The American Heart Association's exhaustive 2023 review, synthesizing decades of epidemiological data and clinical trials, unequivocally connects this high-fat, high-heat frying ritual, especially when paired with processed meats, to a 40% escalation in arterial inflammation for individuals over 65, a population segment where systolic blood pressure inexorably climbs by roughly 15% due to diminished vascular compliance and subtle hormonal shifts. These figures aren't footnotes, they're forewarnings of amplified jeopardy for the spectrum of heart events, from erratic arrhythmias and transient chest flutters to the cataclysmic myocardial infarctions that cast long shadows over our narratives, stacking risks in a geometric progression that no one enters willingly. Delve deeper into the dark mechanics, and the plot thickens. The ferocious temperatures of pan-frying catalyze the genesis of nefarious byproducts, aldehydes, acrolein, and a rogues gallery of lipid peroxides, that entwine with the egg's inherent saturated fats and the bacon's nitrates, turbocharging lipid oxidation and endothelial dysfunction, which in turn accelerates atherosclerosis. Gumming arterial lumens with fibrous plaques at a velocity that outpaces even the most indulgent youths. Indiscretions, all before the coffee's second pour or the morning paper's fold. Shockingly, this entrenched error ensnares approximately 80% of us in this age echelon, a statistic born of habit over heed, rendering routine repasts into unwitting insurgencies against our own longevity. Yet, herein lies the exhilarating inflection. Metamorphosis is not only feasible but transformative, a pivot from precarious to proactive that reclaims breakfast as ally rather than adversary. Abandon the fry pan's fiery embrace for the air fryer's airy alchemy. Preheat to a precise 350 degrees Fahrenheit, nestle your lightly seasoned eggs, perhaps nestled in silicone molds for shape, spritzed with the merest veil of extra virgin olive oil, and let them crisp for 8 minutes to a tender-edged perfection that mocks the old oil's excess without the caloric coup. Alternatively, for a whisper-soft alternative that evokes continental finesse, poach in a veil of olive oil spray over gently bubbling water infused with a lemon zest twist, emerging pristine and poised atop your plate. To fortify this foundation and propel benefits into overdrive, orchestrate a verdant coup by supplanting sausage or bacon with a bountiful armful of fresh spinach, sautéed lightly or wilted in the residual warmth. A leafy leviathan that slashes sodium exposure by up to 50% through its inherent low-salt profile, while lavishing your vasculature with potassium's blood pressure balancing bounty, magnesium for rhythmic repose, and folate for homocysteine harmony, all conspiring to steady the sails against hypertensive gales. Heed this from the front lines of lived experience. Dedicate a mere 7 days to this recalibration, and the metamorphosis unfolds palpably, a buoyancy in your stride unburdened by bloat, a resilient thrum in your chest that echoes empowerment, an effervescent vigor that permeates pursuits from garden tending to grandkid gatherings. This transcends mere mistake mending. It's a manifesto of reinvention, a declaration that your mornings can propel the tapestry of tomorrow's triumphs, unmarred by the metrics of yesterday's oversights. As we wrap up this eye-opening dive into the egg mistakes that could sneak up on your health after 60, remember, those simple tweaks, from fridge smarts to smarter frying, aren't just fixes. They're your ticket to reclaiming that vibrant energy and protecting the heart and gut that VE carried you this far. You've got the science, the shocks, and the swaps in your arsenal now. What a powerhouse breakfast awaits. So, tell me, what have you learned so far that's got you rethinking your morning ritual? Drop a comment below. What's one key takeaway from this video you'll put into practice in your life right away? Like ditching the door storage or going low and slow on the scramble. Your story could inspire a fellow senior watching today. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more life-changing tips that keep you thriving. Stay strong, stay curious. See you in the next one.